So rail tickets going up. It's really cold. Anything else?
The economy's looking too clever.
Basically, everything you read is basically setting up this year to be a pretty miserable one. So if there's anything that we can do to cheer ourselves up, what could we do?
Well, some people suggesting a good New Year's resolution would be to be a bit nicer to each other. Little things like saying thank you if someone opens the door for you. Not talking on your phone when you're paying for something in a shop. All these things might make the next year a little bit more bearable. We went to find out what you thought.
Generally I try to say please and thank you, and that's all I expect from anybody else as well. Just the basic good manners is nice.
Right, everybody's talking about the word respect, but where is the respect? You have to just assess the situation, because in that case I've actually given up my seat, but that person did not want it because they actually thought, you know, I was patronising them.
Usually if you go abroad, people are a lot more friendly and more like approachable.
I think everybody should make a New Year's resolution to be nicer to everybody. Yeah, that'd be nice. Drink to that.
Well, Dr. Richard Stevens is a psychologist who presented the BBC programme Make Slough Happy, and Dominic Bradbury runs the AngryBritain website. I don't know who to start with now. I'll come to you, Dominic, first of all then, because you're Mr. Angry. Are we all fed up and that's why we haven't really got time for manners?
I think so. I think we've all really had enough with Britain as it is at the minute. Last year was particularly grim. Obviously the credit crunch and things like that, and it's just people are getting much ruder and nastier to each other, and there's no real need for it. It just wouldn't hurt to be a little bit more polite, say thank you when people open doors, don't talk on your phone on the train, put the blackberries away, and it just make Britain a much nicer place to live.
Dr. Stevens, can we really blame the credit crunch for an increase in rudeness? I mean, I remember during the 80s this seemed to be, you know, when lots of people earning lots of money, and that was the reason they were so rude, because they didn't care about other people.
No, I think the take-home message from the Making Slough Happy programmes was that happiness is not so much a matter of what happens to you, what's going on around you. It's much more to do with your own attitude towards things. And if you take things like the economic crisis, it's very interesting. If you look, for example, at East Germany, now when East Germany unified with West Germany, living standards went up dramatically, but happiness level among East Germans dropped, largely because they were then comparing themselves with West Germans. And of course the West Germans still had a slightly higher living standard, rather than comparing themselves with other Eastern Europeans. So happiness is a very curious issue. It's very relative. It depends on who you're comparing yourself with, for example. And certainly there's no indication that money makes you happy. The relationship between money and happiness is a complex one. But if you look, for example, at GNP, if you look at the last 20 years, the United States, Europe, GNP has steadily risen, but happiness levels have remained pretty constant. If you take lottery winners, you win a lot of money. For 3 months, it's great, you have a ball. After 3 months, your happiness level drops back to where it was before.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy relationship.
Dominic, what are the things that people say are their particular bugbears, and what are yours when it comes to manners and politeness?
And particular bugbears people are really just politeness in general. I actually work in London during the week, and I'm one of the ones that is packed onto the tube that's now gone up in value, or the fares have gone up today. It's people not holding doors open for you, people crowding onto trains, and they say it's the mobile phones and the iPods and those sorts of things. People have just had enough. It's like we live in a constant, or surrounded by noise all the time, and it's just where everyone's got to be somewhere at the same place at the same time.
Is it the circumstances? Because I remember chatting with my grandfather, he said, you know, during the war things couldn't get much worse, but you still opened a door for someone, you still made time for someone.
Absolutely. No, I mean, I entirely agree with you, Dominic. I think that politeness is crucial. I mean, one of the key areas for happiness is relationships between people. And one of the things we did in the Slough project was to encourage our volunteers to smile at strangers. A small thing. You smile at someone, they feel better, they're more likely to smile at someone else. It's kind of contagious. So I do agree. I think one of the problems, though, is not to couch it in negative terms. Don't do this, don't do that, but couch it in positive terms. Small acts of kindness. You know, when you go to a supermarket, you've got your trolley, hand it to the person in front of you,
Yeah.
or let someone in when you're in a car queue.
So, Dominic, do you practice what you preach? Do you try and do these small acts of
Well, I'm
kindness?
one of the generation that's brought up properly by my dad. I hold doors open for ladies. I'll give my seat up on the train for pregnant women. It's all those sorts of, it's just little things like Richard says, it's little things that make a big difference.
Yeah.
And I think if we can all do something nice today on our way to work, that'll make Britain a lot better for today for starters.
I like
I
that
can-
idea that just one extra smile makes a difference, doesn't
And he
it?
did have a big beamy smile when he walked in.
did.
I think it was the side of you rather than me, but there you go.
Oh,
Yeah, thank you very much for
lovely
both
to
of you.
talk to you. Thanks. Keep your views coming in on that, and we'll be talking about it throughout the programme.